Freedom Fighter Radio, I'm your host, Ordinary Joe. Welcome back to the show. It's never been a better time to be a freedomizer, a red-pilled freedom fighter, especially in Ontario, which is a target for many globalists. According to my friend, one of the prime leaders in Saskatchewan, Mr. Mark Friesen, he said to fight globalism, we need to really be more active in our localities, in our municipalities and provinces. Localism fights globalism. And today's guest is one of those very important voices in our local fight against tyranny. You know him as someone who exposed the WHO during those pandemic years. He was one of the leading contender for the leadership of the Federal Conservative Party before he was kicked out by those who were afraid of his voice. And now he is the leader of the Ontario Party. Welcome to the show, Mr. Derek Sloan. Hello, sir.
Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Awesome.
Freedom Fighter Radio, what is up? Whoa!
Shout out to Freedom Fighter Radio. And Joe, you're doing great work, brother, and I love it. All right? Always.
Make sure you listen to the Freedom Fighter Radio on the Ordinary Show.
I'm on Freedom Fighter Radio on the Ordinary Joe Show. That's quite a mouthful.
Yes. Hey guys, this is Chris Sky. Listen to Freedom Fighter Radio. They're here today, back in the blue, and so am I.
For the best price in town on your flooring, call Complete Flooring. The unique shop-at-home experience means samples are brought right to your door, and because we don't pay salesmen, there's no markup on our products. Complete Flooring does the installation of new hardwood floors and sands them using a dustless machine, making the sanding process cleaner. We also specialize in refinishing, staining, and custom staining of existing hardwood floors. Our Green Guard certified environmentally friendly finish is now available. Drying in a quarter of the time of regular stains means you can get back in your house sooner, and it will last longer. If you're a homeowner, general contractor, or a building or property manager, Complete Flooring services are available to you. So give us a call today.
Imagine that the power grid was totally wiped by an EMP weapon of an enemy state. Your stress level will go to the roof, your patience will be tried, you will have to think about both your own and your complaining children's survival. If you don't survive, your children won't when they are left on their own. Teach your children how to have the mentality of being survivors through a fun, children-friendly guided outdoor adventures with basic survivor mindfulness integrated in the fun outing activity. Call my friends Nell and Victoria who are experienced survivors. Call them at 905-252-8009 or email them at northernpacificcottages@gmail.com.
Thank you for coming to our show again. And Mr. Sloan, the Ontario Party had a little problem as well, just like I was having a little problem with my studio here that got recreated. But the Ontario Party was having a little problem for a while getting re-registered. But finally, very recently, you advised me that the Ontario Party is now officially registered again and ready to go. There's a couple of by-election that you are going to put some candidates on. But before we get into the details, tell us a little bit about, refresh us, what is the Ontario Party all about? What is the outlook for 2024 and towards the next election? I think is we have about 2 years. Spring 2026 will be the next general election, but there's so many things that can happen. Technocrats and the globalists are really creeping their way into our provinces in Canada and states in the US. What is the Ontario Party all about, to refresh all of our listeners?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Joe. So the Ontario Party was created to fight for faith, family, and freedom in Ontario. Can you pull up our website briefly just to show the front page, www.ontarioparty.ca? So the Ontario Party ran 105 candidates in the last election, which is almost a full slate. We got 85,000 votes, and we had the most comprehensive and detailed platform of any other party that addressed everything from housing to immigration to healthcare to freedom issues, education issues. We really did have a very fulsome platform. And the elite players in Ontario Exactly. Yeah. So there's our front page there. You can see freedom, family, and faith. People can click on you can see combating globalism there. If you click on our platform page, you can see all of our great platforms there. So for anyone who's interested, they can see more details on that. But our party ran 105 candidates. We got 85,000 votes. We touched on every issue that would have made Ontario a much better place to be. And we resonated with a lot of Ontarians. We, in the process of doing that, we obviously caught the attention of people in high places who were looking for a way to silence us. And what ended up happening is that after you do an election, there's some very significant paperwork that needs to be done on all levels, and you need to get your paperwork audited by specialized auditing firms. And the auditing firm that was supposed to do our paperwork basically told us last minute that they couldn't do that, and so we had to scramble to find somebody else. And there's not a lot of firms that have the wherewithal to do this, and so we couldn't find a firm for a couple of months. And Elections Ontario basically used this as a way to shut our party down. So because our paperwork was late, they had discretion about whether to, shut us down or give us some more time. They, of course, were notified about what we were doing. They, in fact, gave us some recommendations about firms to reach out to, but they set a date in the sand. If you don't have everything done by this date, which was only a couple of months later, we're going to pull the plug on your entire party. And so we said, listen, the accountant that we have cannot get it done by that time. They need some extra time. But, Elections Ontario was not willing to give us extra time. So they pulled the plug entirely on our party. It's kind of like the nuclear option. It's the life support. Every single thing got shut down. We weren't allowed to fundraise. All of our bank accounts had to be closed. We had to give any money that we had left back to Elections Ontario. And it was a very difficult time period. We had to do multiple audits without even having the ability to fundraise. So we had to do audits that were going to cost us $10,000 or $15,000. We weren't even allowed to fundraise. And they said, if you don't get these audits done, your chief financial officer, your CFO of the party, they're going to be fined up to $5,000 plus $100 a day or something like this. So we were under some extreme kind of regulatory mandates and rules and sanctions. And our party was out of commission for a whole year. And, we were able to, even though we were able to complete our audits within, as a miracle, basically, we were able to complete our audits fairly quickly. We were able to somehow get the money together to do that. Even still, it took Elections Ontario. We had those audits completed in June, and it took us until only April to get re-registered. So there was a lot of regulatory loopholes to go through. But making a long and painful story short, we are back registered now. We have jumped through every hoop. We have done every single thing Elections Ontario has required of us to do. We don't think, what happened to us, the deregistration and all that, was fair. We believe that the policy that doesn't allow for extensions based on good reasons is frankly unconstitutional. But we did not want to fight that in court. We did not want to drag this out years and years. So we jumped through the hoops. We're back in the running, and we will have a full slate of candidates to run in the next election in a couple of years. And we're excited to fight against, globalism, fight against the destruction of our standard of living, and provide some real common sense ideas and plans for Ontarians to buy into. I just wanted to mention, on our website, I believe there is a place called Candidates. And if you click on that, you can see pictures of our two candidates running right now in the by-elections and learn more about them. So for anybody who wants to know more, click there. There should be candidates. Yeah. So you can see there's Cynthia there. And then a little lower down, there's Fred. Exactly.
Oh, I think Fred is coming on tomorrow as well. I remember she said that she's coming with with a friend, and I remember it's Fred. So Fred and Cynthia will be joining us tomorrow on the Freedom Fighter Radio. So I'd ask our listeners to look out for that.